Welcome to the channel, The Professor's Workshop with Dr. Rick, where today we are going to be lighting things up, quite literally. I'm going to be installing rope lighting by Lumary to highlight the architectural feature along that curve in our pool decking. Here's the thing, landscape lighting is one of the easiest and most cost-effective ways to instantly elevate an outdoor space. But a lot of people don't do it because they think it's expensive or that it's super complicated. But the truth is, you don't need to hire a pro or spend thousands of dollars. A simple light like this rope light can totally transform your entire space and change that whole vibe. Today I'm going to show you just how easy it is to do this yourself. The product I'm using is by Lumary, and I've linked it in the video description down below. I first used this product last year in my 100,000 light Christmas display to outline the edge of a flower bed across my front yard, and I loved it so much that I started to look for other spaces that I could use the same rope light. I thought this would be great to highlight the architectural feature of the pool that we put in. So here we are. Step one is layout. I've just unrolled the full length of the rope light just to get a feel for how it'll follow the lines of the pool. No adhesive yet, just making sure I like the flow and taking a look at the spacing. Also, I made sure to blow as much mulch as possible into the pool. Not good, Rick. And you'll see the improvisation here. I had to take a rake and pull the flowers back. I grabbed the outdoor ottomans. I threw those on to hold them down so I could install. There was a snake, but luckily I'm not scared of snakes. But this does lead me to my first tip. Make sure that your connector on the end of your rope lights is closest to wherever your outdoor outlet is. Now I know that sounds simple, but you would be surprised at how often people start at either the wrong end and they end up with either a trip hazard or a mild existential crisis when they realize that they have to run a 25-foot power cord to power their lights. For now, I'm going to secure these with hot glue. Nothing permanent yet. The hot glue will hold just enough to test out the look, but it'll give me some flexibility to adjust or remove it if I change my mind. You can see here this hot glue holds. In fact, this is what we use in the Christmas light industry to attach Christmas lights to brick or to stone, and it will hold for months. Another thing that I love here is that these lights come with multiple ways to use them. These are ground stakes to where these are what I used in my Christmas light display, where you can run them along the inside of a flower bed or feature, and you can just sit the light inside of it. But they also provide these nice mounting clips, and these are what I'm going to be using because I want it to sit between the brick and the stone. Once I'm happy with it, I'll come back with the concrete bit like the one I'm using here, and I'll get these locked in with screws and clips, and that'll make these permanent. But there's no rush, especially when the hot glue is going to give me several months of longevity, and it'll give me a chance to make sure that I like these. 3 clips in, and the use of the hot glue is already paying off because I decided that I did not like the lights being elevated off of the bottom curve here. So I just used a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, and the hot glue will pop right off. You can see here just how strong this hot glue is. I like the Gorilla Glue because it holds up in super hot climates. Also taking a hammer and hitting it just with regular force, and that bad boy's not going anywhere. So use the hot glue. How hot is it in Texas? I've been outside for 5 minutes. Now, attaching the hot glue and the clips is pretty self-explanatory, so you can watch this yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you a story, like a nursery rhyme. Once upon a time, about a decade ago, a young man, me, Rick, Dr. Rick, packed up his dreams, left behind the snowbanks of Wisconsin and the cloudy charm of upstate New York, and said, "I'm headed south to Texas, y'all. Sunshine, warmth." I was born for this. I did grow up in Tennessee, after all. He told himself, sure, it's just a little hot once he got there, but I'll adjust. Give me a week, maybe 2. Fast forward 10 years. That same man now steps outside in July, gets hit with 118% humidity, and immediately starts rethinking every life decision he's ever made. Within 3 minutes, he melts into a puddle of regret, clutching a Stanley Cup full of ice and whispering, maybe this was a mistake. His thermostat stays cool at 78, and his electric bill says, "You fool," but yet I refuse to go back because deep down I know the mosquitoes may bite, but at least he's not shoveling snow in May. The end. From a true story to some ASMR, I'm going to shut up now and let you listen to these Texas cicadas and the satisfying sound that these lights make when they click into place.
So that wasn't hard at all, but it was hot. Actually, maybe hop in the pool, or at the very least go inside and take a cool down break.
Crazy enough, I came back outside and it is sunshine and rain. Do y'all have crazy weather like this where y'all at? Let me know in the comments.
Now while I wait for the rain to stop, now is a good time to highlight that these are outdoor lights. In fact, they are rated to handle the weather. So you won't have any issue running these guys in the rain or snow or bad weather. They're designed to handle that. And one thing I learned a long time ago is that when the sun is shining, when it rains like this, give it a matter of 15-20 minutes and it'll be 100 degrees and super humid again. So I'm sure I'll be back to work soon.
Let's take a quick break in the action here just to talk about the importance of landscaping lights. You can see here behind my house, dark house, dark house, dark house, dark house, and then let there be light. And I'll give my neighbors some credit too. You can see beside me, they're also lit up. Landscape lighting is like the jewelry for your house. It gives it that little bit of pop and allows your house to stand out. It's that bling, and it just makes it look nicer. You can see here you should have layers and depth. I have pathway lighting. I have lighting that lights up some of the shrubbery. I have specific lights that uplight the trees, and it just gives it that richness and depth that's visually appealing. Don't forget though how landscape lights look for you on the inside too. We uplit this tree so I could see it from the dining room, and it's one of the favorite things in our landscape. Alright, the lights are in place and powered up for tonight's test, but before we check out the glow, I've got one more important step in the process, dinner. And that's going to be putting a homemade flatbread pizza on the grill. I've got fresh mozzarella, basil and tomato on one, barbecue chicken and purple onions, mozzarella on the other. Nothing fancy. 6 minutes on the grill and boom, crispy, cheesy happiness. Dog approved.
Sit. Easy, easy.
Now, as the sun started to set, I could barely contain my excitement. I ran out, I took the remote. That's right, these bad boys come with an old school remote, but they are also app controlled. You can access all of the functions inside the app, or you can use the basic functions on the remote, change the moods, and I'm telling you guys, this is a complete vibe. I love how these guys turned out. Debating on what color to use. Our HOA is very specific. We're supposed to only use this color tone in terms of outdoor lighting, but I do love the way that these guys look, even in this soft, warm color. This is going to be the color that is HOA approved, but it also matches my other landscape lights. Now, I know people hate it when people ask you to subscribe, but listen, this really is how our channels grow. If this video gave you any ideas or helped you out at all, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more DIY projects. Trust me, I got a lot of projects in the pipeline, and I'd love for you guys to be along for the ride. You can see here I'm going through the different modes. This remote, again, there is an app, but I find that I have everything I need in this remote, and maybe I'm old school, but you can just select mode and it will do all of these crazy funky effects, which are really vibe setters. These are going to be fantastic if I have a pool party or have friends over. It just really is a cool feature to have. You can see here that you can make the lights run in this chasing pattern or this shooting star effect. You can have the solid colors. You can also have this gradient effect, and in the app you can even set them to even more colors. So I'll run these for parties and events, part of my Christmas lights, maybe Halloween lights. But during the rest of the year, these are just going to be in standard soft white. Now, one of my favorite features on these lights is that they are dimmable. They go from level 1 to 10. I've got them in cool white here, and I'm going all the way up to level 10 brightness, and you can see they are incredibly bright. I'll show you a video from across the way here in a moment, and you can see just how bright they are. In the warm white that I'm going to be using to match my landscape, you can see I take it all the way down to level 1 here, and it gives it this nice soft glow that really works with my landscape. Here's cool white again, going up step by step by step all the way up to level 10, and you can see just how incredibly bright these lights are. I'm really impressed with the brightness, and I love the fact that you can dim them to match your vibe or your mood or whatever works for your landscape. And they also hold the pattern, so when you turn the lights off, they're going to turn back on the next day if you've got them set by a timer in the app, or if you use the remote, and they will turn back on to whatever setting you turned them off at. So here's that video from across the way. I'm about a football field's length away from my backyard, and as I zoom in here, even on the zoom out version you can see it, but look how incredibly bright these lights are. This is level 10 brightness, max brightness on the cool white. You can see these guys are insanely bright, so you can have a lot of flexibility and variety here. Here's the same vantage point, the same view, but with the lights in warm white and toned all the way down to level 2. So you can see here it gives me that nice, soft, warm pattern, and it blends in really well with my existing landscape lights. And so I am really pleased and happy with the overall vibe and look that these lights get. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'll see y'all next time, and remember, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be you.